Tornadoes. Honestly, these are probably the most interesting aspect of like nature or like weather that I can think of. Just the way they look, especially when they're really big and they take up pretty much the whole field of vision. It's just there's something else, man. Whoa!
This video is sponsored by IA Path. Claim your life as an independent adjuster by handling daily auto claims. March 14th and 15th both looked like possible severe weather outbreaks across the Midwest and Southeast. Starting on the 14th, numerous storm chasers positioned themselves in the warm sector ahead of the advancing shore wave. The primary zone for the most intense tornadoes appeared to be across southeast Missouri, northeast Arkansas, and western Illinois, Kentucky, and Tennessee. As chasers waited for initiation, a major catastrophe was already ongoing in Texas and Oklahoma, as the intense surface winds on the backside of the low were causing damage to property and knocking down power lines, leading to fast-moving grass fires. Back in Missouri, my chase partners and I set up east of Springfield with a goal of intercepting the first round of storms before sunset.
Okay, the time is 4:30. We are in south central Missouri, and a tornado watch has just been issued with pretty high probabilities. Storms have fired off to our west, but they're still kind of in a moisture-starved environment. Dew points are just barely starting to get into the 50s here, so we're definitely going to have to wait for these to get a little further east. We're hoping for a potential storm close to, sunset, but this is probably going to be a mostly overnight event at this point.
As evening approached, storms to our southwest started to look more impressive, so we maneuvered into position.
Okay, so we are currently to the west of Plato, Missouri, watching this lead supercell here as it's strengthening. Seems like it's taking on really good inflow, starting to get quite a large convergence area here just to the northeast of Sparta. Storm's getting a really good shape. Would not be surprised if we have tornado time in the next 20 to 30 minutes.
Wow. These guys really know what they're doing, don't they? All the tech that they've got and,
Just let it get a little closer here.
At that time, there was actually a tornado ongoing west of Hartsville. We were just a bit too far away to see it. The storm began to cycle as it approached, and a new circulation with rapid rotation developed right in front of us. While it did come close, this new cycle failed to develop a tornado. Once the storm passed our location, it was time to turn around and bail south to new development. The storms were moving in excess of 50 miles per hour, and all we had to work with were twisting roads through the hills and trees. This meant we would only have one shot with each storm. As we drove south, storm chaser Chris Risky was getting into position for the storms we had just let go.
As I got closer and closer to St. Louis, the rain started to slow. This was my first indication that I was now underneath a storm's updraft base. I slowed down because I didn't want to cross underneath the mesocyclone, and the next thing I knew, there was a tornado right in front of me on the interstate, causing power flashes. The flashes of lightning allowed me to see the tornado, and the tornado was growing in size.
Tornado! Holy crap! Oh, man.
wow, you can see it,
right
yeah.
there. Oh yeah, tornado. Make sure we're in focus.
As I continued to try and catch up with the tornado from behind, I noticed there were stopped cars in front of me. I slammed on my brakes to avoid them, and then I saw why they were stopped. There was a double trailer truck completely blocking the highway. It was clear he was just hit by the tornado. I was one of the first people on the scene, so I felt obligated to help. When I first got to the trucker, he was in shock, saying that his chest hurt. I told him what happened, that he was hit by a tornado. I also let him know that he really didn't seem hurt, he was just shaken up. I then went back to my car and reported the tornado because it was heading directly into the St. Louis suburbs. I went back to the truck.
Dude, that truck looks like it's got some serious damage to the front.
To check on the trucker, and by now he was completely calm. Fortunately, he didn't sustain any injuries despite taking a direct hit from the tornado.
Lucky.
While Chris attempted to navigate his way through the debris, we were lining up for another supercell with reports of tornadoes coming out of northern Arkansas. Without enough time to safely thread the needle down to West Plains, we continued down Highway 60 towards Fremont, where we would set up and wait for the storm to come to us. Meanwhile, Freddie McKinney, Alex Russell, and Will V were in position near West Plains and had a front row seat as the EF3 approached their position.
By the time we finally made it to West Plains, the cell, which was now approaching Bakersfield, Missouri, was at full maturity. A massive wedge tornado was being reported, and unfortunately Bakersfield was getting completely destroyed. In the pitch black, we finally found south of West Plains near the border, a clearing. While it wasn't perfect and there were trees around, it was at least something in this crazy, awful terrain. Suddenly, we spotted something in the distance from our position. It looked like an RFD cut, or a sign of the mesocyclone. Everything started to become a blur from this point. We started to realize what was under the RFD cut was roaring. It wasn't just the winds, there was something in there. And at that point, a mile-wide wedge was right in front of us, and it was heading straight for us.
Large tornado, guys, we hear it.
Oh, I hear. I'm gonna move the camera.
Suddenly though, it began to translate from the left to the right, meaning that the path was changing. The tornado was now occluding right in front of us. Some shots we have show intermittent vortices behind the trees.
There it is. Here it is. Oh my God. Close range.
The
Holy
RFD winds from the occlusion impacted our location, knocking down trees right in front of us, and we were able to navigate around them. But by this point, we realized that something insane was going on. This wasn't just an ordinary outbreak, and we had to keep chasing.
The storm then cycled and
Man, chasing tornadoes looks so... I mean, it's so dangerous, obviously. You need to know what you're doing for sure. Like, you need to be careful, but... I mean, it does look exciting, doesn't it?
produced a new EF3 as it marched toward our location in Fremont.
We are on a storm that has had a history of producing multiple strong tornadoes. It does appear to have another one on the ground based on radar, and we are just waiting for it here. It's about 10 miles away.
The tornado was buried in rain, and we strained our eyes to get a view as the storm came into frame. While we were able to establish where the tornado would be located, we couldn't actually see it, so we bailed east to stay out of the way. The rain-wrapped tornado then crossed the road just behind us, heavily damaging some of the buildings we had just driven past. At this point, it was obvious that we were in the midst of a full-fledged tornado outbreak. Tornadic storms were ongoing from northern Illinois all the way to central Arkansas, and the night was far from over. Our next target storm was approaching the town of Poplar Bluff, and we were determined to finally get a clear shot of the tornado. I navigated us just southwest of town on Highway 67.
Dude, hopefully that car that they're driving in has been reinforced in some way. So, you know, maybe made heavier so that it couldn't easily be like swept up and tossed by a tornado.
Now we had finally entered the Delta region, which meant clearer views and better roads. As we cleared the tree line, a cone funnel came into view to our southwest.
There's like a cone funnel.
Yeah.
It turns out this funnel was the end of the long track EF4 that had been causing damage throughout northeast Arkansas. This old tornado began wrapping into the new circulation, and within seconds, there was a new tornado, and it was heading straight towards Poplar Bluff.
Power flashes. Tornado.
The tornado started as a broad circulation with dust underneath, but eventually planted as a massive stovepipe.
What town are we near?
We are, let me see.
Maybe his cell coverage is poor.
I might be fully planted.
Yeah, we might want to go north, dude.
That's what I was planning.
We trailed the circulation into the southwest sides of town before getting a little too close for comfort. Poplar Bluff took a direct hit from this tornado, which caused EF3 damage on the west side of town, and unfortunately, we later learned one person was killed.
Oh,
We navigated around the
no.
damage to get back on Highway 53, and lo and behold, there was yet another tornadic supercell approaching from the southwest.
All right, it is 12:30 a.m. and we are approaching our fifth or sixth tornadic supercell of the day, and this one has a confirmed tornado as well.
Unknown to us at the time, this cell had already produced a monster EF4 tornado near Diaz, Arkansas. Now the storm was taking aim on the small community of Kennett, Missouri. As we came into town, we had to make a quick stop at the gas station to top off the tank, and our partner Austin ran into the Casey's to hit the bathroom as sirens started blaring.
Dude, those tornado sirens are scary as hell.
After saving Austin from being locked in the depths of the Casey's bathroom, we repositioned a few miles east of Kennett as the storm rapidly approached. A new circulation started developing southwest of town, and a cone funnel started to descend. This new tornado was about to go right through Kennett.
Big power flashes in town. Yep, you ready to go?
Just a few miles down the road, Bree, Timmer, and the Dominator crew were right in the middle of the tornado as debris began to fill the air.
There it is! Roof up!
Whoa!
Roof up! Window up! Window up! Parachute's gone! There's the rocket! It's going on the ground, guys! Coming through town!
Power flashes illuminated the tornado's track as the rear flank downdraft approached our position.
Tornado impacting Kennett area right now. We're about to have to go. Start turning the car around.
We quickly piled into the car and continued east as the tornado entered dusty farm fields.
Yep, I can see the cone.
Yeah, let's chill for just a second. We still can. I just able to see something in the lightning. Yep.
Definitely. Coming back down.
Oh. The following day looked like it could be yet another possible tornado outbreak, this time in the deep south. The storm prediction said,
Dude, because the debris is super dangerous too. Like, if there's like a 2x4 flying at 100 miles an hour, if that hits you on the head, good night.
Center had issued a high risk with potential for long-track violent tornadoes. We only got a couple hours of sleep in Tupelo, Mississippi, and then hit the road. Supercells quickly matured to our south, and we raced to get in position. While numerous tornadoes did occur on this day, we couldn't seem to find any. Most of the previously tornadic supercells just seemed to struggle by the time they got to us. We did encounter one rain-wrapped EF1 near Enterprise, Mississippi, but ultimately the day was a bust for us. The outbreak that took place over March 14th and 15th will go down as one of the most violent of 2025. Over 100 tornadoes were recorded, including 3 EF4s and 11 EF3s. The EF4 that began near 56, Arkansas was the longest track of the outbreak, traveling 118 miles over a 2-hour period. This was the tornado we actually caught the end of near Fair Dealing, Missouri, just before the Poplar Bluff tornado formed. The Diaz tornado was the strongest of the event, officially rated a 190 mile per hour EF4. This tornado leveled well-built homes as it tore through the north sides of town. On the 15th, there was yet another impressive EF4 that took place in southern Mississippi. This tornado was on the ground for 67 miles and caused multiple instances of low-end EF4 damage along its path.
Low end? Those houses are wrecked. Mate, you can see the foundations. How is this low end? This seems pretty high end to me. Man, what a video. Honestly, I would love to go on a storm chase. I don't know how I'd arrange it, but it would be one of the best experiences that I've ever had. It would just be so exciting. I know you have to be safe. You've got to follow the rules. I'm prepared to do all of that, but I would love to do it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.